1, 2,
I didn't
3,
get this one though. Okay.
6, and 7.
Oh, I don't have that one.
Perfect.
All right. Good morning, my friends.
Good morning, Miss Taylor.
Yoga is more prominent today than ever before, and more people, including professional athletes and celebrities, are turning to yoga. That includes people like LeBron James, David Beckham, Jennifer Aniston, Madonna, and they're utilizing yoga not just for the fitness benefits, but the health benefits that it provides as well. But a lot of people see yoga as a fitness fad for the snobby elitist or the vegetarian hippie, like some of us here. And they refuse to try it because they've had this idea in their head that it's boring, weird, or pointless, and they don't want to give it a shot. But in fact, the benefits of practicing yoga are numerous. And although some people have these previously formed opinions, I want to shed some light on all the benefits that yoga has to offer, as well as try to persuade you to give it a shot without making any judgments. So today I'm going to chat with you today about some different types of yoga, some of the health benefits, some risks and common misconceptions, as well as share with you a list of studios from around Las Vegas. Yoga is defined by M.J. Kemper as a practice that includes a series of poses while utilizing breathing and meditation techniques to develop flexibility, strength, and endurance. Now, there's more than one type of yoga, and although there are multiple types, and we can't talk about them all today, Real Simple magazine had an article that breaks down some of the types of yoga, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. To start off, Hatha is a great place to start if you are a beginner yogi. And it's great because it actually focuses more on relaxation as well as a restorative type of yoga. Vinyasa is a power yoga or a power flow. And this is a much faster paced yoga, and it's actually ideal for weight loss because it can burn up to 7 calories per minute. Iyengar is great if you have neck or back problems because it focuses a lot on proper alignment throughout your practice to help utilize and strengthen the muscles surrounding your joints and your spine. Bikram, which is also known as a hot yoga, is done in a heated studio of 105 degrees at 40% humidity, and that heat helps increase flexibility. It's a series of 26 poses that is repeated twice, as well as utilizing some breath work. And a little tip, if you want to try a hot class, is refrain from eating for 2 to 3 hours prior to the class. Bring a towel and plenty of water. The key is that it is hot, so be prepared. Kundalini yoga utilizes chanting and mantras to create a more spiritual yoga experience. And if you're like me, not everybody is really comfortable with verbally participating in a class like that. So keep that in mind prior to starting, but also know if you don't want to verbally participate, you can do the mantras in your head. And lastly, there's Ashtanga, and this is a series of 70 poses in a 90-minute to a 2-hour class. This is not primarily designed for a beginner yogi, but there are beginner classes. And this is one that requires a lot of flexibility, strength, endurance, as well as a commitment to practice this style more than once a week. Now, yoga benefits are much more than just weight loss, flexibility, strength, and endurance, but are more on the mental health side as well as internal health. Yoga can be used for cancer patients to overcome reoccurring symptoms of insomnia and depression, as well as help minimize some of the side effects from chemotherapy, including nausea and vomiting. And some research trials have also shown that yoga has been able to help cancer patients enhance respiration, improve overall mood, help relax and reduce stress, increase appetite and bowel functions, to reduce hot flashes and menopausal side effects from women suffering from breast cancer, as well as improve the overall quality of life for people who are suffering from cancer. An article from the U.S. Federal News Service shared a list of other great health benefits for just your everyday, day-to-day yogi. And that includes improving blood and lymph circulation, promote concentration, reduce stress, which will in turn will help reduce the risk of cardiorespiratory disease, decrease anxiety and ADHD symptoms, reduce pain that is associated with carpal tunnel and osteoarthritis, lower heart rate, regulate blood pressure, as well as improve movement and balance for someone who has just suffered from a stroke. But with all of these benefits, there are some risks and there are some chance of injury, especially for people who are uneducated or maybe aren't fully prepared before taking a yoga class. Article by Dr. Judith Fulabakish, she states that yoga postures carry the risk of injury if performed inappropriately or too vigorously by an individual who is unprepared or limited in any way. Some of these potential injuries can be overstretching, as well as joint injuries from the knees, wrists, shoulders from improper alignment, lower back strain, as well as neck strain from any kind of inverted positions where the feet are placed above the head. But most of all, it's important to remember that any yoga class can be modified for your individual needs. If you have any health concerns, it's important that you are seeking a physician's guidance, as well as let your yoga instructor know prior to starting. But most importantly, know your limitations. Know when to say stop and know when to pull back and listen to your body. A reason people don't like to do yoga is because they're a little intimidated. It can be a little scary to try something new that maybe you have that pre-formed idea. And a website called Tiny Buddha has a blog by Mary Burstein, and she is a California yoga instructor. And she did an article about some ways that you can get past that barrier that might be stopping you from trying yoga. And the first one is to start at home. Start simple. You can find yoga classes and free yoga videos on YouTube or even on your cable stations, and you can do it in the comfort of your home. There are no mirrors, nobody's watching, no one can look at you, no one can judge you, and you can be very comfortable. You also have the opportunity to pause or rewind if you don't understand something to help you fully understand poses and terminology. Find a buddy. Nobody wants to take something new by themselves, so find a friend or a coworker or even someone who's already involved in yoga and ask them to come with you. It'll make you feel a little easier and know that you have a friend nearby. Shop around for a studio, teacher, and style that is right for you. When I first started, I didn't like the style I was trying, so I had to kind of find what worked best for me. So if you try a class and you don't like it, keep an open mind and try something different. And that ties in with the last one, is to keep an open mind. If you approach a yoga class with a closed mind or a negative attitude, already thinking, you know what, I'm going to hate this class, you're right, you're going to hate it. So keep an open mind because yoga has a lot of really great benefits, so don't be afraid to try something new. Like I mentioned before, yoga can be practiced at home or at a number of studios and gyms across town. And I have a list here for you, and I'm going to pass that around. Of all the different, not all, some of the studios, the list of all is much more numerous. And then if you have a gym membership at places like 24 Hour Fitness, Gold's Gym, Las Vegas Athletic Club, they also offer yoga classes. So if you don't want to pay the money at a new studio, those are great places to start. Now, I used to be a yoga skeptic, and it actually wasn't until I started working here at Lululemon that I opened my eyes to yoga. And initially I told myself that yoga would not be a challenge, it would be a little boring, and I would have no idea what they were saying because they might be speaking everything in Sanskrit. So it wasn't until later that I had a friend that was a teacher, and I started taking their class, and then I really opened up to the benefits. And now I consider myself a little bit of a yogi, and I love yoga. So keep an open mind and don't let those initial ideas turn you off. And I want to finish today with a quote from Tiny Buddha, Mary Birdstein's blog, and she says, "Yoga is like chocolate. If you live your whole life never tasting chocolate, you can lead a perfectly content existence, and there is nothing to miss. But once you have had that first taste, there is no turning back." Thank you.